Alright, this is my video on lubricating my gun. This is a Glock 23. It's a Gen 4. I'm going to go ahead and show you how I like to lube the gun. While I'm lubing it, I'll also point out where Glock recommends lubing. There's a couple of spots I guess I like to do, and there's a couple of spots I don't like to do. So, without further ado, start with the firing pin. I take the firing pin and I put it into the back of the slide. I actually do not like to oil any of the parts on the firing pin because unless you really want to break it down all the time and really clean inside the slide, what will happen is the oil will attract dirt and just the powder from the shot and all that stuff in there, and it might get stuck and sticky and all that good stuff. You don't want that to happen with your firing pin. Without any oil on it right now, I mean, it flops around in there very nice, very smooth. So I go ahead and put that in there. I will put a dab of oil on the safety, the firing pin safety, and when I say dab, I mean like a minute amount. I'll even wipe most of it off with my finger. I just like to have it where it doesn't get obstructed at all inside the slide there. So I just put a little bit there, drop it down in there. Extractor. I don't put any oil on the extractor. There's really no need. Just press down on your firing pin safety, place it in there, release the safety, and it will stay stuck. So we can I do a tiny dab also on the extractor rod here, just because it makes contact with the extractor and I'd rather it not wear. So we'll go ahead and put that back in there. So now all we need to do is put our backplate back on. Normally I just like to get the backplate into position and then just use the pick or something to press the firing pin down in there. And while it's down in there, I just slide it up a little and make sure I got it all in there. And then I will press the extractor rod there and slide it the rest of the way back, and you'll hear it click into place. And so we'll go ahead and we'll put our slide to the side for a second there. And I got a cameo from my kitty cat here. So onto the frame. Glock recommends that you oil your spot right here, which is where the spring meets the bar, and just work it in a little there and dab off. I like to wipe off any excess. There's really no need to over oil this gun. It's very nice. Also, no need to oil the trigger itself. It's just plastic on metal. So we'll go ahead and we'll drop that down into the frame there. As you see, it's very simple to put together this gun. Like I said, I do it in no time. We'll go ahead and we'll slip our slide lock in here, slide release. Just remember there is a notch at the top of the slide release lock. It needs to be facing the back of the gun to actually catch the bottom of the barrel. There's a spring in there. You just need to press it down, slide it in, and it slides right over and pops into place. so now we got our back oiled here. Glock recommends that you oil a spot right here on the back, on the bottom of the trigger, and they also recommend that you oil the middle of the barrel here. So we'll go ahead and do that. I like to actually, with the XF, oil over here, the top where our slide, where our barrel and our slide come together. Also, I use a paper towel here to remove the excess. Tear a piece off and just wipe down. I like to wipe down like all this heavy excess here that I have on here. I do not like the oil to be where it's actually a puddle or a pool or anything like that. It just needs to have a nice, like a shine to it as far as I'm concerned. Because the more oil you have on the gun, the more dirt it's going to collect. So that's pretty much our barrel. I'm going to go ahead and put our piece back in here, get that piece into place, and then I'll put my slide catch in place. That just goes in. There are 3 spots on the trigger, 3 slots, one on the left, one on the right, and one in the center. The one on the center isn't used. The one on the right holds the trigger bar, and then the one on the left holds the slide. You just slide it in there. Make sure that the spring gets underneath the metal piece here, and you can even give it a little test and make sure that it moves up and down. When you move it up and down, it actually forces itself back down. So that's pretty much that. We'll go ahead and replace some of the pins here. I normally start with the large pin first. Just put it in there. It'll give it a tiny bit of resistance here. It almost feels like it won't go. All I do is press the slide lock up and down, and it pops right in. This is like one of the easiest pins to put in. I also like to just give it a little bit of a move in a little further. I like the pieces to be like as even as possible on both sides. Then the top one, the top pin is the smaller pin of the two, and it just goes right in also. And once you get it in there, I like to give it a little bit of a push this way. They're even, almost identically even on both sides. I don't know why. I just feel more comfortable, I guess, like that. I actually like everything to be as even as possible. Since I have the back plate on, the medium grip plate, I go ahead and put that on before I install the trigger neck mechanism pin, which holds the back of the trigger in tight also. It's a straight pin, doesn't have any notches on it like the trigger pin or the upper pin there. I'll just give it a little pressure, slides in there. Sometimes what you'll have to do is you'll have to keep some pressure on the handle back there while you're pushing it through the rest of the way, just to line them up good. And then also, I like to push it through to where they're both pretty much even on both sides. Alright. Glock recommends that you oil the pieces where the slide is going to be on both sides here, and then again on the back. Like I said, excess oil is your enemy when it comes to dirt and grime, so we just remove any excess. Then what I like to do is we'll put the barrel back into the gun here. We'll put our spring back in. I don't feel as I need to oil the spring, so I don't. I just put that back on there. I'll also give it a dab of oil back here on the slide. And then I'll also give it a little dab right here, and then I'll take my paper towel and rub it up and back, because this is where the One trigger piece right here makes contact, so any place where there could be wear, I like to prevent it as much as possible. On the Gen 4s, I think the Gen 3s also, but I can't be positive. There's a little bump now on this piece here, so it might be for, I'm not even sure what it's for, maybe just for a little more tension, but since it makes contact with the slide, I like to keep it to where it's oiled up there. And pretty much our next step is just to put the Glock, the slide back on. I'm going to just slide that back on there. Once you hear it click, it's actually locked, but we'll go ahead and we will make sure by cocking it. I like to double cock for some reason. Every time I check and make sure I don't have a bullet in there, I always do it twice, even without the clip. So then I have my microfiber here, and I just wipe down all the fingerprints, the SX oil, just make it nice and shiny here, and that is pretty much it. It is ready to go. Everything is back in, and these guns are very simple to clean, very simple to take apart, very simple to oil, and very simple to shoot. This is my favorite gun of all time. I also have a Ruger SP-101. It's a revolver that I'll be taking apart. I also like taking that one apart. It only takes a couple of minutes to take it apart and clean it and oil it, and it's another good gun. Alright, well, thanks for watching.